Hey everybody, Toby here with another episode of the Glove Cities podcast. On this episode, we're going to take a look at the recent capital project vote that took place here in the city of Gloversville. If you don't know what the capital project vote is or was, well, you're in the right place because we're going to talk all about it. Now I'm going to go over everything, then I'm going to give you my opinion. I want to give you all the facts first, then give you my opinion. I will say this though, it did pass by about 70 some votes, and I guess the concerning thing about that is not that it passed, but that only about 500 and some people voted in this city of how many thousands? So that's a little concerning too. Get out and vote, everybody. Get out and vote. But let's take a look at what the capital project was. And I got this packet right here, and I'm going to be reading off of this, and we'll go over what each part of the capital project was. The overview, put out, of course, by the Board of Education, is the Gloversville Large School District is proposing a capital project focused on improving the safety, efficiency, and experiences for our scholars and staff at all zero additional cost to the taxpayers. I'm going to stop you right there. That's not true. It might be not any additional costs to the immediate taxpayers, meaning it might not be an additional cost to our school taxes, but this money came from the government, so it came from taxpayers anyway. So it's got to be replaced. So it went up along the way at some point. I do understand what they're saying, but just being nitpicky here, it did cost us. So there is that. The total project cost is about $40 million. Again, they say there's zero tax impact for residents, and I guess they should say zero new tax impact for residents. The facility and safety improvements will be district-wide, and it focuses on the energy efficiency and long-term infrastructures and upgrades. Okay, so far, nothing so much to object to, but there will be. There's more. Zero tax impact. That's what I was getting at. Zero tax impact. The project will be fully funded through state building aid, capital reserves, and strategic financial planning, ensuring no increase to your local taxes. Well, it probably already increased before when uh, these other avenues of money were raised, but that's just nitpicking. I understand that, and I'm not going to mention that again. But just putting it out there. First up is a good one: the middle school roof replacement. A complete replacement of the Gloversville Middle School roof will ensure building integrity, improve energy efficiency, and protect instructional spaces from leaks and damage. Okay. Middle school is about what now, 28 or so years old. They were putting up my senior year in high school, and I was at GHS. Well, I graduated from GHS in 1997, and they were working on it. So it's about 25 to 30 years old. So, okay, new middle school roof. That's very understandable and a good thing. New boilers throughout the district. Outdated heating systems will be replaced with energy efficient boilers, improving building comfort, reliability, and operational cost savings across all district facilities. Okay, no problems with that. As a father of two who are both in the district, my oldest especially complains about the heating and such in the school. So this is not a bad thing. I'm glad to see that. Boulevard Elementary improvements, where my oldest goes. The new main entrance and designated bus zone will improve for traffic flow. There'll be a new main entrance. Okay. Enhanced safety for scholars during arrival and dismissal. ADA compliant access for all visitors. Okay. There's a new entrance and a new bus layout. So taking a look at it, it looks like over here, we'll just look at it this way then. Looking at it this way, this is where the playground is, and here's where the parking lot is now. They'll go in and out. Well, I don't understand about this, and I'm okay with it. But what I don't understand about it is when you look at this chart, and you have the new parking lot up here. There'll be a new parking lot up here for the teachers, and then you'll have the current parking lot here, which is where they do the drop-offs and such. Why don't they just make this one big loop for drop-off? You get more cars in line. It's spread out. It's safer instead of bunching them all up right here. I don't know. They pay somebody big bucks to figure this out, so there's probably something I'm missing. Moving on, here's what the new gym entrance will look like at Boulevard. Looks pretty good. So overall, this part of the project and the roof and the boilers, I have no problems with. Glad to see they're doing it. Park Terrace Elementary School, a safer campus. A redesigned traffic pattern for improved safety, dedicated drop-off zones for scholars, and expanded event parking for community use. I have no problems with this one either. If you look at it here, this right here is the Husky Stadium, Husky Field, whatever they're calling it these days. Over here is where the new parking will be. coming up the street here instead of coming around, excuse me, this way instead of coming around to the parking lot. Wait, I got it backwards. Sorry, reading upside down. Coming up the street here instead of coming around to the parking lot like normal. You can come in and park in here if you're a teacher or if you're there for an event, which is pretty close to the stadium. And there's some more wording in there. I'll try to get this up there as well. But basically, um, expanding and improving the facility, staff, schedule, or vehicle parking lot. Sorry. Uh, Light bulb blew up here and I'll have a replacement yet, so I got to go get one this afternoon or this tonight after work. And it's a little dark in here, so I'm having a little trouble reading it. But basically, just tying it all together, and I think this is a great idea. The track is out of here. This is where the track used to be, so why not use some of that space? There's still plenty of room to practice and such for football and whatever else they practice there. Up here, the drop-off zone, I'm all for it. They eliminated some of the parking up there and moved the parking to the back. If I'm reading this correctly, the parking will be back up in here somewhere, and then this will all just be a drop-off loop, which is a very good thing. So, as someone whose son came through there and whose youngest son is just starting there in pre-K, this is a good thing. So it's very well thought out. And here's a close-up view of it. And again, I'll try to put this up on the screen so um, you can see it better. So those are all good things. No complaints about that. Husky Stadium upgrades. New synthetic turf field at Husky Stadium will serve as a premier athletic venue for baseball and faculty. I call bullcrap. And here is what it will look like. But here's my beef. From what it sounds like, this is basically going to be the modern version of artificial turf, astroturf. Modern version. I know it's not the old astroturf, but modern version. That's not a safe thing to put down for kids to be on. I don't care about the studies, and they're going to put studies in here later on. I'll have it. I'm not going to really read it because I think they're bull. Um, not that they're doing anything nefarious, but why would they put any study in here that shows negativity? You might put 10 studies that are great, but you can find 20 that are negative, and then another 15 that are great, and then another 20 that are negative. By and large, it's common rule of thought that turf and cleats and turf and knees aren't really a great thing, and other body part injuries. I don't think that we need that on our fields. If you want to do an upgrade, put new sod down, that type of thing, I'm all for that. I just don't like the artificial turf. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. And the final one, I believe, is a secure vestibule for the district office over there at the middle school. A new secure entryway will enhance safety for staff and visitors by controlling access and aligning with modern security standards. I'm okay with that. That's all good. Anything for safety, keeping everybody safe. I'm all good. There's a diagram for that as well. No problems there. So my biggest beef about this whole thing about the capital project, okay? It passed. It's going into effect. It is what it is. It's not the money. It's not the improvements. Um, it's not even just the artificial turf part. It's the fact that it was one package, right? So so you couldn't vote on each one individually. So it's one package. Okay. So if you thought that all the upgrades were a great thing except for the artificial turf part, right? You can't separate the two. So you gotta vote for it. Am I gonna not vote yes? Because I want all these safety measures and all this other stuff put in because of the turf? Probably not. That's not going to be a deciding factor. And that's exactly why they did it. That's why all politicians do it. That's why they do it in the federal government and the state government. They lump all these together into one bill. So the negative part is in there. They know you would never go for. So they put it in there with the part that you're going to go for. And you're not going to not go for the part you're going to good for. Or you're going to go for. Excuse me. Say that 10 times fast. I think that's just a cheesy move. And again, it's not just on this bill, on this project. It's on everything government wide. So that's a universal thing there. That's my biggest beef on this, and that's why I personally didn't vote in it. I knew I was going to have to vote yes. Can't vote yes for the turf part, and I just decided that I'm not going to vote for everything else if I have to vote for the turf part too. If it was separated, then I definitely would have went and voted, and so would my wife have voted as well. And I'm not going to speak for her, but she probably feels roughly the same way I do. All the improvements to the schools and such were great things, and we definitely need it. The athletic fields with the AstroTurf, I call it AstroTurf, with the new turf. Yeah, we don't need that. That's not good for our athletes. It's not good for our um, players in general, our students. That's just my thoughts. Overall, though, I'm happy there was a capital project. I like to see the improvements to the boilers, to the roofs, to the drop offs at both Park Terrace and Boulevard. I think that's a great idea, and I just wish they would have separated it so we can distinguish between the safety of our students and our children and the wants and needs of the athletic side of things. But that's my opinion. I'm just one parent here in the district. Thank you very much for watching. We'll have one more episode before the new year is complete. That'll be coming up here the final week of December. So between now and then, have a happy holidays, a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you choose to celebrate. We'll see you back here in just about a week or so with the final episode of the 2025 year, our first for the Glow Cities podcast. I'm looking forward to many more as we cover all the things that are going on here in the Glow Cities. So long for now.